You're tuned in to Porch Talk with Rev Pat, where raw, real talk rules. So sit back and relax with that delicious cup of coffee or tea or your favorite glass of wine as Rev Pat delivers real, transparent, and raw conversations about all things life. Let's get started.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Porch Talk with Rev Pat. I'm your host, Rev Pat, and I am so excited about this week's guest. I had the absolute pleasure of sitting down and interviewing Mr. D.C. Glenn from the rap group Tag Team. They're famous for, you probably know the song Whoop, There It Is, that was released back in 1993. Well, Tag Team is back in the spotlight, but not because of Whoop, There It Is, but because of Scoop, There It Is. Their Geico commercial that was played during the Super Bowl has gone viral, and I mean viral. If you haven't seen this commercial, I don't know what rock you've been under, but you can check it out on YouTube. It is an absolute delight. My grandson loves it, and his favorite part, of course, is sprinkles. So, grab your coffee, grab your tea, or a glass of wine, sit back, and let's get talking. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for your time. Let me tell you, before we even get started, I got to share this with you. And I know you probably have heard this from 1,000 different people over the last, since Super Bowl, Christmas, or whatever. But let me tell you, I have a 4-year-old autistic grandson. And that commercial gets him every single time. And he speaks in gibberish, right?
Yeah.
But he sings like he's singing, like he knows he sings. And that commercial, I'm like, if you could hear him go, sprinkles.
I have no words. I hear, like you're right. I hear those all the time. And to me, that is a blessing that really can't be comprehended. You know what I mean? So, my whole existence is giving back and trying to talk to people about the things I wish someone had told me when I was a young man, and just trying to help people wherever I can. And this is part of it.
Well, guess what? I'm on the same mission. Except I still need to hear some stuff that somebody should have told me when I was younger.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's the key. That's the key.
Look, I'm still teachable, Don. I'm still very teachable. But that I know that has to, I don't think people really understand that when you have a heart for other people. All of the other accolades are great. I mean, we're not crazy. We love the other accolades, but when you hear how what you do touches or has changed somebody else, it's worth all the weight and gold, whatever you want to call it. It means so much more, because that means that I've done something that's impacted somebody's life beyond that commercial or beyond that day.
Oh yeah. You've turned something that you've used your opportunity to not only turn it into more opportunities for yourself, but to turn it into opportunities for you to express your thoughts, your feelings, the things that you've learned to the world, right? And I do like 2 or 3 of these a day, just because it helps people, and it might be just that one thing that I say that changes somebody's life, or just is the secret sauce to their recipe, right?
Yeah.
So, it just reminds me when I was growing up, and my mom would take me down south, and all the elders in the family, and the females would be like, "No, boy, you don't do it like this. You do it like this," teaching me how to cook. And just that one little thing changed the whole recipe. So I just try to help people change their recipes for the better, give them the confidence to let them know that no matter how old you get, no matter how hard it gets, as long as you're breathing, there's nothing on this earth you can't do.
Wow. Well, let me tell you, first I got to go back a little bit. because I saw your interview with Miss Tamron Hall, and we should have did this. I should be living where you are, because I would have definitely taken a soul food dinner. That hit home, number one, because I'm greedy. Number two, because I can cook. I'm that Southern girl. So yeah, I said, oh, he cooked dinner. That was a done deal. Me, he do some soul food.
Like I said, I was raised by a wild pack of Black women. It's like, boy, you're gonna be able to take care of yourself.
You know how that goes. You need to learn how to cook, because you don't want to have to find no woman. You can't make no woman cook for you.
I really don't. You know, when I cook, women don't want to cook because they know, and it's like it ain't a contest. Just be happy I can cook. But I cook better than most people's mamas, so I take pride in that.
He cooks better. No, I've never. You know I'm recording this, and I'm not cutting this out, because
no, that's the good stuff, right?
That's the good stuff. I have never heard anybody say.
I'm fully confident. You know what I mean? Fully confident.
And he said it with confidence. I cook better than some folks' mama.
Most people's mamas.
So let me ask, what do you think you're more passionate about? Because you do so much. I'm very unscripted, so I don't want to walk through somebody's life.
No.
5,000 people do that for you.
No. Just remember, in our conversation, it is not about me. It is about you. Ask me what you want to ask me. It is all good. And to answer your question, learning how to learn. It's not enough just to learn. You got to learn how to learn. And, you know, perfect example, before I start talking to you, I was running through emails, and, you know, you're going to get a long email sometimes that you want to read, but you're just like, man, I feel like reading all this. And you try to read, and then by the time you finish it, you done daydream, you done went over here, your mind is just wandering. And that's just the way it gets, especially when you get older, right? So I always have a reader that I can just dump it into the AI, and it reads to me while I'm checking other emails, while I'm multitasking. And that's just the system of learning how to learn that helps me, right? Some days I don't want to type, I want to write. So I'll dictate, and that helps me, right? It helps me get over that obstacle that would have had me procrastinating. So learning how to learn is one of my key successes in my life, because I'm not going to, I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to play offense, and I'm going to learn it. And I wish I had that ethic when I was younger, but I didn't, right? Unfortunately, but it's never, like I said, as long as you're breathing, it's never too late. So one thing that I do is that, and it's funny because I did it this week, I joined organizations, right? Like this week, I'm an entrepreneur, I needed writers, and everybody says they can write, but can you write for me? It's a difference, right? Can you write, from a cultural level, but still be grammatically correct, right? And I've been having difficult finding people to do that. Some people, they can write, and I could put it out there, but that means a lot to me. And, I'm testing people, beating my brain. I said, let me join this organization. I joined, I think, the Editorial Journalist Association of America, and went to their job board and just put out an SOS. And I guarantee I got about 40 people that hit me back, and everything I needed was solved.
Wow.
Right? Learning how to learn. So the easiest way, if you want to learn something, join an organization, association, or society, because those entities are filled with people who have been doing the profession that they love for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And they're masterful at it, and they can't wait to run their mouth to teach you the game.
Let me tell you, now I'm a lot like you, because I knew nothing about this podcast. I just knew that a couple of years ago, the Lord put it in my spirit. And when I was a little girl, he reminded me of this because I had totally forgotten or pushed that memory to the back of my head, that I used to sit and imitate Mike Douglas, Dinah Shore, the old school, because I'm 62. We didn't have all of this other stuff. And I loved how they sat and interviewed people. And it was always in a comfort, just this comfortable zone. Dinah Shore looked like she was sitting at home interviewing people. Mike Douglas would just have a chair. He'd be sitting there and then he'd have somebody else and they would just conversate. And so I would imitate that, pretend to be them. I don't know who I was interviewing. Don't ask me because I didn't know anybody. But that was something that I shoved back in the back of my brain because life takes over and all of those things have to take a seat to it. But I'm a minister and I love talking to people. I just love talking to people. And so he gave it to me and I went, I don't know nothing about no YouTube. I don't even want to do Facebook, and you have me doing Facebook. What are you doing? I don't want to do that. But he sent my producer to me and she sent me a message via messenger. And I saw it at about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night when I would not normally have been looking at my phone or whatever. And she said, God told me to contact you and you know why. And I'm like, well, you need to tell me why. So when we finally talked and she told me what she did, it was an immediate yes. But the one thing that was important to me was to learn about this. And that's what I'm doing. Learning about how this works and how to do this. I can be my natural self, but I still want to be able to hone what I do so that I do it well. And I think we've lost the art of learning. We have, because we can get everything so quickly and so easily. We don't have to. Everything is right there.
That's why I do this.
We don't, you know what I'm saying?
But I can only control what I do, right? And like you said, you know, I'm different. I just think practically. Like, I don't want to do all the stuff that I got to do what I got to do. I'm just as lazy as the rest of them, but I do it anyway.
Did you say you're just as lazy as
I'm just as lazy as the next person, but you can do two things at once. You can be lazy and get things done.
Then I'm definitely, you can do both. You can be lazy.
Hey, you can be lazy and get it done because you do it anyway. You don't even think about it. I don't even think about it. I just do it. I got a list. I got this list all over the place. As soon as I think of something, I write it down. And those days that I'm flustered, I'm all over the place and I'm multitasking, it's not going the way I want, I stop, take a deep breath, and I start at the top of the list and I just do one thing. And the next thing you know, that list is done, right? Like, there are ways to learn things that serve you. It takes years to learn it, but I'm the guinea pig. I put in the work. I don't mind putting in the work. And I love telling everybody what I did. People always come to me and say, man, why you tell everybody, why you get everybody your secrets? So, because I've been blessed. Why wouldn't I share, right? Because my motto is you give what you want first, period. And I don't expect anybody to do anything for me. I don't expect anything from anybody. I know that if I want it, it is up to me. And I will do everything in my power. I will work day and night. I will learn what I got to learn. And I will succeed in what it is I've tried to do. Now, it might not be for me, but the things that I thought in the past that weren't for me come back to serve me in ways I never could have imagined. And that's life. You know, and when you do that, you're truly ambidextrous in life. Right? Like, back in the day, I used to be like, DC, you're a jack of all trades and master of none, because I'm a hustler. For real. And I am an idea machine. And I nurture my ideas. And that's what I mean by hustling. I got all these hustles, which are ideas, and they're in incubators. And, you know, back in the day when I was DJing and I was just hustling. I was always trying to do something. But the key to it is that I'm not just a DJ when I'm in the clubs. I'm your light guy, your sound guy, your I do your graphics ads, I do your television commercials, I do everything where you would have to hire 5 people to replace me. And that is the art of making yourself invaluable, right? And I tell people this who are in dead-end jobs, who don't like where their life is. If you're in a job that you don't like, okay, you don't like it, but learn what your boss do, learn what your supervisor does, learn what they do over there, learn what they do over there, because one day your boss can come in and be like, how come she ain't here? Man, I need this done. Be like, I got it. You make yourself invaluable. People are like, I ain't got to do all that work. And it's like, no, that's not what you're doing. I said, you're not doing nobody else's work. I said, you're preparing yourself for the future. You're learning. And when it comes time where they be like, well, we got to lay some people off, you won't get laid off. Or if you do get laid off, it's easy transition to the next thing that's meant for you. Right. And, back in the day, everybody's like, man, you're doing too much. Even the people that love you the most tell you that. You know what I mean? You got to do one thing. You got to concentrate on one thing. It's like, I can't. And, when you get older and you keep playing offense and you learn how to learn and you just work hard and plant seeds, you become masterful at all those trades. They come back to serve you in ways that you just never could have imagined. And they merge into tactics and to things, problem solving tactics that help you get to the next thing and to the next thing and to the next thing. And then right now in my life, my only goal is for every opportunity I get, turn it into 10. And people's like, you can't do all that. You're doing too much, DC. You can't do all that. Same thing. They're traditionalists. And I'm like, you know what? You might be right. I can't do everything. But I sure enough can be prepared for everything. They're like, man, DC, that makes sense. I just shake my head. I'm like, just disapproved of the very, you now approve of the thing you just disapproved of. Say it in a different way, because preparation is doing everything. All I do is prepare. If I plant a seed, you best believe I prepared and thought of what might happen if that seed comes to fruition. And 28 years ago, I planted a seed called Whoop, there it is. And now it is a sequoia. So I truly believe that you plant seeds and you keep it moving. You don't get emotionally attached to them. You don't, we all know the person who, let me use this analogy. You don't plant a seed, then sit there and be like, okay, seed, I need you to grow. Man, this seed don't work. I quit, right? And we all know people who've done that. I'm taking a real estate course and I'm about to be rich. The instant gratification. And see, the tragedy is that old folks try to blame instant gratification on young folks when it's everybody who wants instant gratification. And it's like it's not a quid pro quo. You don't do this so this happens. You don't know when that's going to happen for you, because you don't know how long it takes for seeds to grow. You plant the seed and you keep it moving and you keep your emotions out of it. You just do the work. And now I'm standing before you. I planted so many seeds. I'm standing in a forest of opportunity unimaginable. I'm an actor. I'm a voice actor. I still go on the road 40 times a year. I'm preparing to be a motivational speaker. I'm preparing pitches to do more Geico commercials. I'm doing so many things because of all the seeds that I planted, that I'm truly blessed. And I just keep working. I just keep working, because you get one life, right? The choices you make dictate how that life goes. And when you get my age or our age, you look back on your life, and a lot of people look back on their life and say, man, I wasted a lot of time. But if you're lucky, you look back on your life and be like, ooh, all that hard work paid off. Right? And you get older and you realize that the Lord was with you the whole time, right? But you just couldn't see it. So that's why I always say you can do two things at once. You can be lazy and you can get it done. You can
Be lazy.
you can do. There's nothing on this earth you can't do. You know, life is baked in a cake, right? So you can't get mad if bad things happen because that's already baked in the cake. That's going to happen. That's life. But it's up to you to prepare to be able to practically have solutions for everything that happens to you. Like, I think I'm a solutions person, right? And you know how people say you got to keep negative people away from you. I'm like, yeah, but what if the people that love you the most are the most negative in your life, right? Can't get rid of them. So you better figure out a way. You better figure out a way to.
You better figure out something else.
Yeah. So you just, what you do is you take that, you don't react, right? And you take it and you put it in your pocket. Now it's killing you inside because, you know, you want to be right and you're not going to be right all the time. I love being wrong, right? Because what it does, especially for a Black man, when you can admit that you're wrong and you don't argue with folks, especially folks who don't know what they're talking about, is that it sequesters your ego and it kills your pride, right? And I think those are the two biggest weaknesses of Black men, because a Black man's pride will keep him from going to the doctor. A Black man's pride will keep him from doing so many things in life that if it wasn't for his pride, he'd do, and then he would truly be fulfilled, right? And for me, I love being wrong because it's the path to being right. And it opens your mind to any possibility out there. So when, you know, I've acquired over the years the ability to keep my emotions out of it, and any negative emotion, hate, fear, envy, all of those emotions, right? They're gonna happen because we're humans and we react. But you don't react. You take that, I take it, put it in my pocket, and something miraculous happens. That turns into positive energy. Somebody tell you can't do something, don't react. Put it in your pocket. So when something gets hard, you can pull that out and say, hey, remember when they said this about you? Yeah, I'm about to prove them wrong. I'm gonna figure this out. Right? So you got so much fuel that you got all that negativity can be flipped into positive energy if you just do not react. Now it's killing you inside. And all of this is easier said than done. But I tell people this all the time, in life, it's never easy. It never gets easier, but it does get better.
It does.
That's all you can hope for, right? That's all you can hope for.
The don't react, man. That is so key to people understanding. If you just don't, reaction is an emotion. But when I take the time to respond, oh, I thought that thing out and I'm great about it. And okay.
Or you don't forgot about it, or it wasn't important in the first place.
Most of it isn't really.
And it dissipates, right? But it comes back up when there's a situation where you need motivation. You remember that obstacle. You know, for me, like I say, I look at the glass half full, not empty, right? Like I try to tell people all the time, people that I love, like, look, people come to me complaining, come to me with excuses. And I'm like, okay, what's the solution? Huh? What's the solution? Yeah, what you talking about? Oh, you got all these problems, what's the solution? And they haven't even took the time to even think about the solution because they love wallowing in their pity, right? And I'm like, look, here's what you do. For me, if there's a problem, I'm like, okay, let me think of what the most pie in the sky, far-fetched solution is. Okay, man, DC, you can't do that. Okay, maybe I can't do that, but let me come back inch. Oh, you still can't do it. Let me come back a little bit more. I'm kind of halfway doing that now. Come back a little bit more. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Come back a little bit more. Man, I'm doing that. Wait a minute, I'm closer than I thought. And what you've just done
is found your solution.
You created a reverse business plan with a step ladder to your goals and dreams. Wow. Right? Because you thought it out from the highest peak and brought it down to practicality. This is what I'm doing now. This is how I feel now, but these are the steps. And then after that, it's time to put in the work. And that's what shows what you're made of.
Wow. I'm gonna have to listen to this again. Can you email me that thing? So I can put it on my, put it right there, because I can do the pie in the sky. I can do that. And I love listening to you talk, because it's just so, really, like you said, it is practical.
Yeah.
But it just takes some, life happens and we just don't always think this way. And then, but then at the same time, we would, but we were not given the tools to think that way. Some of us,
Yeah, but
given the tools. But then when you're in the right,
I don't subscribe to that either, because I know exactly what you're saying. A lot of people always come to me, well, they don't teach us that. I'm like, they ain't supposed to teach you that. This is life. They ain't supposed to teach you nothing, right? You're supposed to go get it. You got a phone. That phone has access to all the history in the world.
wow.
It's up to you. They will never, ever teach us nothing. So why are you worried about something that you have no control over?
Absolutely. Oh, well, no, I'm not talking about that.
I know, but people put those two things in the same context. Even if it's like my parents, I love my parents. I give all praises to my parents, because they worked me like a dog since I was about 5 years old. And I've been stemming collard greens and shucking peas since I was 5. My mother had a prep cook. My father made us clean, cut the lawn, cut the hedges, shovel the snow, everything, right? And they made us work. We had chores. I knew how to do everything, and I am so grateful, because as a grown man, I don't fear work, right? So they taught me the most important thing that they could have taught me, but my father couldn't have taught me. There's some things they can't teach you. He taught me the most incredible financial advice over and over again, and I never listened, because I thought, I'm about to ball. I'm about to have a ball. I'm about to make money forever. He said, son, he said, spend less than you earn, pay yourself, and put the rest away.
Wow.
If I had to listen to that, I would have had a easier path financially. But he did tell me, right? And I appreciate that, because you could have come back around to those things. But my father couldn't tell me the ins and outs of all the snakes in the music industry, and certain things about life he could not tell me. Certain things about life my mother could not tell me. So I say all this to say that you have to come to the realization that nobody's going to ever give you anything. You have to go get it. And that means education. That means learning. So that's why I'm here. So I'm telling you, there's an easier way than what everybody else is telling you, or what you perceive is hard, right? You find people who know what they're doing, and then you ask them politely, can you please teach me? You'd be surprised what please will do for you. And that's all I'm saying. I understand what you're saying.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
And that, because that's a trap, right? That is one of the oldest traps to keep us in the place that we're at, to keep us in that little box, right? Because it's an excuse. And I love when people give me excuses, because it's like, this is an opportunity for me to come up with 5 solutions. And even though it has nothing to do with me, I come up with those solutions and I put them in my toolbox. Well, not my tool. I have like a tool shed. No, not a tool shed. I have like a Ace Hardware now, because I've lived some good years and got a lot of experience. And I've got a Ace Hardware store full of tools. So when a problem or an excuse comes up, I know how to deal with it, because I took the time, and the way I think is solutions based, right? So even if that solution doesn't work, that is still a learning experience, because that solution wasn't meant for this. It might have been meant for that, right? And that is how I live my life. And it is very difficult to do, because there are always going to be people that tell you that you can't do that, to tell you that, or give you an excuse why what you're doing, is not what you think it's doing. And it's like, how can you tell me when I'm moving forward and you still stuck? You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't deal with that. I don't argue with people who don't know what they're talking about. I listen. You gotta always listen. You never know. If somebody tell you 50 things that's just don't make sense, is just full of it, they might tell you 2 that may change your game a little bit. And you listen and you go back and you rehash it. You're like, what were they trying to say that they couldn't eloquently say? And then you figure that out, and then you do it. And then it gets done. And you don't even have to, it's not an ego thing or a pride thing. It is a solutions thing that has moved you forward. Like everything that everybody does is emotion. And it's like when you get caught up in those emotions, you keep yourself in the place that you're at. And like I said, all of what I'm saying is easier said than done. I promise you, but it's not going to get easier. And you have to fight, and you have to put in the work. And I just don't quit ever.
Now, that's one of the reasons why, how do I say this? I think the whole staying caught up in the emotions thing, because of what I'm called to do, I can't do that. I always have to shift, because my emotions will have me react one way. But when I do that shift where I'm taking everything from a spiritual perspective, it changes. For real, it changes how I react. It changes how I act. It changes every single thing. But now, what I tell those that God has blessed me to minister to, it's a choice. I make that choice.
Amen. We all
I make that choice. I'm not going to tell you that that's going to work for you. I'm telling you that I personally make that choice. Just prime example. Life happens. I have life stuff that goes on every single day, all day, every day. And not only that, with the ministry, we have things that go on with other people that now become a part of my world. So there are days when I wake up and DC, I'm like this. I ain't feeling it today. I'm not feeling like getting up at 2:30 in the morning. I don't feel like going live. I don't feel like encouraging nobody. I want to put the cover over my head and go back to sleep and try to figure out how we gonna get mortgage made, how we gonna get the water paid, and that's my emotions. But then my spirit kicks in, and I get out of that bed and I say, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will be glad and rejoice. I will make the choice. So you can do that. You can make the choice. It's the same thing. If you walked up, if DC walked up and said, man, my head is killing me, real Pat. My head is killing. Is it really killing you? Can't be. You're still standing here. You're still here. You're not in the hospital bed. Is it really killing you? But you're speaking that you had this horrible headache, or you got this big problem. You're making the choice. Does my choice not to whine and cry change the situation? No, but it changes me, because now my mind is in a whole nother place. And I'm a creative like you. I'm a creative. I can come up with 1,000 ways to do something. I'm not saying God gave his approval on all of them, but I can come up with it. I can come up with it.
But that is the thing, right? That is the one thing that I'm good at, is that there is a different way to do the same thing that everybody wants. So I don't have to be a sheep. I could be the shepherd, right? I could be the one who, like I said, I'm the guinea pig. I will go out and learn everything just to teach it to everybody else. And the beauty of doing like you said, your gift was, interviewing people, because that came from a place when you were a child. And for me, I never would ever do a podcast, but I love being an interviewee on the podcast. I love because I love running my mouth, and it's
I can tell.
these podcasts serve 14 different things. I mean, I get to run my mouth, I get to hone my message, I get to talk about the things that I love, and then in talking about the things I love, you have self-reflection, which ends up being therapy, which ends up helping you find a way through things. Right? I get to, merely me talking to you as a servant of the Lord does wonders for me, because you will let me know if I am not on the right path in anything that I'm saying. Right? Know that you will put me on the right path if I'm up here talking gibberish. You will. And we have had such a pleasant conversation because it is steeped in blessings, right? It is steeped in what life has meant to both of us. So I love to be interviewed, like I said, because it works. So now, like I said, I'm in the process of becoming a motivational speaker.
You're not in the process. You are.
No, but it is a process, right? Because for me to get up in front of a corporate junket, which has 3,000 people, that has to be well thought out. So now I'm putting the pieces together, and this is part of it, because I get to take this. This is a good podcast. I get to take this and transcribe it, and then have my writers write out everything that I've done in probably 5 of the best situations where I'm discussing things and discussing all about DC. Then we get to take those little chunks, find out which ones that resonate the most with everybody, put it into a presentation, and then go inspire the world, right? And that's a process. And this doesn't happen if I don't do these podcasts, because I realize what I mean to people. I realize when I say sprinkles, what that does to people, right? And I hear story after story of how I've inspired people on a level that I can't even imagine. I get emails all the time. My father has cancer, and you are the only thing that brings him joy. How can I ever repay someone for giving me those words? Well, you use your words to make the world better, to teach people who might not know, right? To teach. I mean,
but okay. So let me interrupt you, because you've completed the process. There is no more process. You see what I'm saying? I know you're saying I'm working on becoming a motivational speaker, but you just did that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
whether you do it in front of me, one, or you do it in front of 3,000 corporate, because when it's your gift, you base it on what God says about that gift, because he gave it to you. And what God says about that gift is that your gift will make room for you before kings. Now we're not dealing with kings in this day and time. So you switch it.
Yeah.
My gift will make room for me before corporate leaders on every level. Because you've had your stage. He gave you your stage. Your stage was the commercial. Then your stage became the Super Bowl. So you've already done it. And by merely sitting and being who you are. See, and I say this to you because he had to say it to me. When I was on that website and they were asking, you're an expert at what, and name what you're an expert at. And I was trying to fix up who I am. Preacher, pastor's wife, grandmother, mother, and it stops there. And the Holy Spirit said, your life is your bio, period. I've been through enough to feel to be an expert on whatever you want me to talk about.
Exactly.
So I'm not defined by that.
Yeah.
If you come, you come. If you don't, you don't. That's just me. That's the real thing. I'm that way with social media, with anything. Some gonna like me, some not. If you don't like me, keep scrolling. If you don't like me, get out of the group. If you don't like me, don't watch my live. It's just that simple. So when I hear you, who is truly, truly impacting me as I listen to you, say that you need to, it's a process. There is no, once he's done it, the door is open. Because you're doing it. You have done it.
Hey, it is funny you said that, because my father, bless his heart, he's passed, but when I was younger, I used to, I'm like, Dad, I'm a hustler. I'm this and I'm that. And I pray all the time, and I do this, and I know I'm gonna be successful. And he's like, son, he said, you can pray all you want, and God can bless you all he can. But if you don't get your butt up from under that apple tree, ain't nothing gonna happen, right? And I never forgot that, because that meant even though you're blessed and even though things are there for you, you still got to put in the work, right? You still have to show that you're worthy of things. And that's how you show that you're worthy of it, by putting in the work. And that is where the mastery comes from, right? And that is what I seek, is mastery in things that are so hard for everybody else. So I love it to be hard, because I know everybody else is not going to do it. But for me, I've acquired the tools to where I don't care how hard it is. I'm going to figure it out, because I don't quit. I can't. I cannot quit. And because of that, I'm self-sufficient, because I do my own marketing. I'm my own publicist. I'm the booking agent. I'm the manager. I'm everything, right? And it takes a little bit more time because I'm only one person, but that's how you merge talents and mastery to serve you, and then everything becomes custom to you. So there's always a way if you make it custom to your vision, right? And
but then I don't wait. Well. Because what does he tell you? Write the vision, and then what?
Do it.
No, he doesn't. Okay. That's not. That's not in there. That is not.
Teach me.
Write the vision that they may run with it. That they. He gave you the vision. He says to you, write it. That they. And the they means I'm going to bring others to walk alongside you to make manifest what I've given you. I gave it to you. Nobody's going to take your vision, because God already gave it to you. But I want you to write it down and make it plain, so that they, because I'm going to send others to work alongside you to manifest their vision. See, you're part of that manifestation for me. I never would have imagined that I would be sitting here doing this. But I wrote the vision. I discussed it with my producer. And I said, we're going to run with this. I'm going to do it. She said, do it. Go for it. So you can become master of a whole lot of things. But the one thing we can't master is co-laboring. Because there's always somebody that I'm serious. You can go all the way back to Genesis, Exodus, Moses. I'm slow of speech. I can't even talk, God. What you mean go talk to Pharaoh? I don't even, who made your mouth? Okay, second excuse. But I stutter. I can't talk. Okay, you can't talk? Look up. Here comes your brother Aaron. Here he's coming, and I know him. He told him, I know your brother Aaron, and I'm bringing him. Look, there he goes. Now, y'all gonna get together. I'm gonna tell you what to tell him, and then you gonna go, and you're gonna talk to Pharaoh. And since you're slow of speech and you don't think you can do it, I am going to tell you what to do. I will teach you both what to do. You're doing it, and you're doing it well. He's already used the major gift. He's already used your gift of rapping and putting it out there. And you said that it took 10 years for that to even blow up, 10 years of sowing into that gift. And then all of a sudden, here it is, it blows up, and it took 10 years for it to blow up. And then here you are, and it's blowing up again. What did you just say? You don't know how long it's going to take a seed to grow, right?
Or you cannot be emotionally attached to it because it is not up to you. It's something you can't control, but you can nurture it.
But you can't control what God is doing with you. DC.
Yeah,
You can't control it.
Yeah.
And if you just walk into that room, if you just walk into whatever room you can sit, because you already are. That's not, you said I want to be. You already are a motivational speaker. You just did it within 40 minutes. You just did it. You did it the minute you opened your mouth. So he's already put you. Your name is already on the hearts of people that you can. You said you ignored the call from Geico. Who would have ignored the call from Geico? You did.
I didn't ignore it. I just missed it, right? But the fact that, because what happened is my agent called me and she was like, DC, you booked a Geico commercial. And I was like, don't play with me. I haven't even auditioned for a Geico commercial because I'm an actor. I'm a commercial actor, right? So all these worlds have collided. She's like, no, DC, they wanted you for tag team. And I'm like, oh. And see, that story goes back 10 years because everybody thought Barack Obama was in our music video and it blew up again. And we were doing press for 2-3 weeks. And at the end of that, I was kind of upset because I had nothing to show for it. And that started my SEO career, search engine optimization, me learning how to build websites and get on the first page of Google and things of that nature. And fast forward to the Geico call, I was like, let me go check my phone. I checked the tag team phone, and there it was. And they didn't wait for me. They went to my IMDb portal and found my agent and called my agent. So because I put in all that work and because I learned to be found and make myself available to every opportunity and to all those blessings, they found me. And then Lord put me in a position to be with such a good agent that the agent made the deal. And that is the most lucrative, biggest deal I've ever had in my life. And it's bigger than Whoop There It Is, because Whoop There It Is was a bad deal. But that bad deal taught me so many things. It was so many lessons came with that this was just vindication that if you don't give up, never quit, keep playing offense and learn how to learn, everything is possible. And then we make the deal with Geico, and then I'm like, okay, that's easy enough, but now it's time to put in work because I'm an actor, because I've trained for 5 years of being an actor. It was 3 then. So I went to that, like, I gotta be prepared for this. And I said, I want to go in with 5 things. And that's where the spin and scoop, the sprinkles, all the stuff that makes that, all the nuances in that commercial that make it what it is came from preparation. And the night before we had a fitting, and I said, I got about 5 or 6 things I want to do. And they're like, DC, whatever you want to do, you can do. I was like, oh. It was like, well, I tried to do the spin and scoop, but I couldn't get nobody to build it for us. Like, we'll have it for you tomorrow. I was like, wow. It's like, I know kids love sprinkles, but I don't know why, but we got to have a bunch of sprinkles because there's some things I want to do. DC, we will have a truckload of sprinkles. And the energy, we shot that commercial in a day, and we did so much that they could have made 5 Geico commercials out of that. Out of all the footage we shot. And then on Christmas night, that thing dropped, and my phone has not been ringing. It has not stopped ringing since. And I could have just been like, I'm happy I got a Geico commercial, but what I said earlier, I take every opportunity and try to turn it into 10. And That's how I was like, I need a publicist. And no publicists wanted to work with me because we were in a pandemic. They didn't know how to do a commercial. And they were like, well, we don't want to, whatever it was, they didn't want to spend my money or whatever. They gave me every reason not to instead of one reason to. And I said, you know what? This goes back to the organization thing. I'm going to be my own publicist. And I joined the Public Relations Society of America. Super Bowl week, right? I'm on this podcast. I got a press release. And, I asked the question to the CEO, and our press release is relevant. And they're like, what's it for? I'm like, well, I'm kind of featured in a national Geico commercial called Scoop. There it is. Then I'm watching the chat, and the chat just blew up. Wait a minute. That can't be him. What's he doing here? My mother loves that. My mother loves that. My dog loves that. My cat loves that commercial. And the CEO is like, yes, that press release is going to work, because the whole last year has been despair. Every story has been about COVID. Every story has been about politics. And here you guys come throwing sprinkles and spinning scoops, and DC will smile. You can go to here for all the publicists, here for all the journalists, here for all the TV talk shows, here for all the podcasts. And it has changed my life forever. It opened doors I never thought imaginable. And it is the reason you and I are talking right now. And it is the reason that Tamron Hall called me out the blue and was like, we want you on this show. It is the reason that 2 days after that podcast, Super Bowl week, Friday, I'm on the Dan Patrick Show, national TV show, and getting just recognized for something that I put the preparation in that everybody loves, and the ability to bring joy to the world, right? And I have not stopped, and I've never stopped. But now my engine is fierce now, because I am attempting to do things that have never been done. And this is fun. I'm a kid. I love life. I'm never going to subscribe to that. I can't do something because I'm older, or I can't do something. Life is about adaptation. You adapt. Like I said, life is baked in the cake.
I'm just listening to you.
It is baked in the cake. You can't stop it. You just have to adapt. And how you adapt is how things are going to go for you. And that's how you keep your peace of mind, because that's all we want is peace of mind. When we get up here, we like, just don't throw nothing my way that's going to throw me. But you can't, because you're dealing with your parents that are getting older, and you're seeing things that that's coming your way, right? So how do you adapt to it? How do you prepare for it? And how do you live your life without worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow? Well, you do that by working very, very hard to achieve something that's going to happen tomorrow, right? And you keep building a legacy of things that serve other people and help other people and bring joy to the world and maximize the gift that the Lord has blessed you with when you came into this world. And that is all I want to do. That's all I want to do. And I just want to thank you for letting me come on your podcast.
No. Because see, you doing all the preparing. I'm just into the but God. I'm doing the preparing. Everything is a but God.
I hear you.
Nobody but God did this, because I don't even know where I got the email from. I don't know. It just popped up in my email box, and I said, let me, I'm like you, let me try this. What it's going to do. I just feel basically that if it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, it's not. That's just the way God works. That's it. I don't put any weight on it. I don't think about it beyond the day. That's it. Present it to him. Here, these are the names you gave me. This is my thing. This is how you're a little bit deeper than I am. So I'm just every day. Let me make this plain simple. This is how you gave me this. You told me to do this. I said yes. Now I'm giving it back to you. And now you're responsible for the results. That's it. There's no coincidence that you were on that call. There's no coincidence that people said, is that him? There's no coincidence that Tamron called you. There's no coincidence that you want Dan Patrick. None of it. Read Psalm 139. Put that sucker on your desk. Don't just say, okay, Rev Pat, I'm gonna read it and look all interested in everything and then get off of here and don't do it because I'm gonna feel it. The Lord gonna tell me. I'm telling you. He gonna tell on you. Read Psalm 139. All my days were written. There's not a day that we live out that has not already been written. All that junk that we go through before we get to this stage didn't catch him by surprise. He's not surprised. He's not surprised by Tamron Hall. He's not surprised by the Super Bowl. He's not surprised by any of that. You already had the gift. That's it. Whatever I'm doing now, this 50, I imagined doing this 50 something years ago, 52 years ago. I imagined doing this. With all of the junk that I've been through, I could have said, well, that's never going to happen. And I probably did say it and didn't even realize it. But if all of my days have already been written, he knew that day that I got that text or that message and I said, yes, he already knew what he was going to do with it. So no, I'm honored. And when I said that, I meant that. For every person that I've invited, I've told them I would be honored because I know that the only reason I'm able to do this or get this opportunity is because for some reason that man up there considers this girl worthy. I don't know why, and I'm not gonna fight him. But
can't.
At 62, I don't have time to waste with. I'm not saying no anymore. So no, you are. It is a blessing, and you have blown me out of the water with your humility and the humbleness and the sincerity that I hear in your voice. And I don't play. I don't do the fake shake. Oh, you're just so. No, I hear it, and I know that you haven't even begun to be a blessing to some folk. Not yet. So
that's good to hear.
Thank you. Well. You can hit me up and say, now you said this and wait a minute. You can tap me and say, now I know you told me, yeah, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
And I'm not gonna quit. I'm not.
Don't quit.
It's you gotta find a way. You gotta find a way, and that strength comes from him. I know, there are the things that people say can't be explained can be explained, and it's him. So I've been
Yeah, you just tell him next time. I can't explain it, but God. 2 words.
Yeah,
but God. It's self-explanatory.
That's simple.
So you I'm gonna ask you one more question before I leave because I know you're busy and I know you're swamped. I want to know. Name one of your favorite places you've ever gone to that you just said, wow.
Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I saw a lot there. We did shows in the Amazon jungle.
Wow. Did you really?
Yeah, like I had experiences in Brazil that I've never had in my life. And to go through jungle on a dirt road that's bumpy, going up the side of a mountain, and then go into a soccer stadium that's got 30 speakers on both sides, and you got thousands of people waiting for a tag team, and in Portuguese is hoot de. I have no words for, right? I have no words for the poverty I saw. I have no words for all the experiences that I had there and how beautiful it was and how beautiful the people were. And I've been all over the world, but that's the one that sticks out. And then just traveling America. Like we're on the road every weekend. So a lot of times I get to go to rural places. I get to go places I never would have been if I wasn't doing this. And you get to see how people live, and you get to catch those common threads that make us all one, But there are threads that keep us separated as well. So you get to see all that, and that's knowledge, right? That's why I do these podcasts, because I never turn down any pod. This podcast ain't gonna work because it don't have that many followers. I do them all because I'm meeting people from all over the world, and everybody got different perspectives.
Well, definitely thank you for that.
No, but I don't even look. People send me packages of stuff and say, so we're gonna prepare this. I was like, look, and this is how I neutralize it. I told you, I was like, it's not about me, it's about you. Ask me what you want. Because I guarantee you DJ, interviewing this rapper is not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. We're not talking about rap, we're talking about life. In the context of whoop, there it is.
Life alone, that's all.
Yep, and last but not least, sprinkles.
I'm telling you, that is just gonna be iconic. That's gonna be like a where's the beef thing, because it's gonna be just straight up, and you know it. You know it, and probably can you just imagine what would have happened if there hadn't been COVID? Wow.
Yeah.
That would blow your mind if that had happened pre-COVID.
It's like what the world needed joy.
Right then and there.
Mm-hmm. And it's just so amazing that it was me that brought the world joy.
Because I'm gonna tell you, this granny was being there like, whoop, there it is.
But
and of course, my 14 and 17-year-old grandchildren do not appreciate my dance moves. So
but it's all
I'm
good.
not worried. The 3 and 4-year-old love it. They not worried about it, but they're 14 and 17. Gigi.
Hey, I want to thank you for having me on. I gotta go.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
I'll be in touch with you, okay?
Be in touch. Be in touch.
Thank you.
All righty.
You have a good day.
You too.
All right.